Also, if an HOA is passed, is there any regulation on low-income housing in that particular section, like we're having all through Sharpstown now? If you know what I mean on low-income housing, right? They're coming out all around us.
Well, I mean, ultimately, we don't have any of the commercial space, i.e. the apartment complexes or vacant land where somebody might build, let's say, either a Section 8 development or even a tax credit housing project, okay? Those are two different ways that those could be done. We, since they're not within the confines of the currently deed restricted community, we can't add deed restrictions to somebody else's property, okay? However, if we have mandatory dues and we have some money, we darn sure can go and actually, lobby against it and have, and put on at the hearing evidence as to why it should not be brought NIMBY, not in my backyard.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, they call it NIMBY because those are hearings. And they're hearings with lawyers, and I've been to those hearings, and I've brought people to those hearings, and I've gotten things, ultimately moved or not built. But you have to have the funding to do that. That's a fight because it's not our property, so we can't deed restrict somebody else's property.
Very last one. On Carvel, there's some apartments, and I'm sure maybe on other sections too. Would an HOA be able to force those apartments out? Or there's also, it looks like a house or a building with special needs or something right there on Carvel and halfway house, I guess.
Two different issues. I mean, ultimately, can your association hire an attorney to bring a lawsuit against a property outside of the community? Let's say that you have a very bad neighbor apartment complex that is trashing the property, or they're loud, or they're, I've had them where all kinds of interesting things have happened in an apartment complex where the association did in fact hire our firm to sue a property that is neighboring to the association, but not the association. I know. Well, hold on. We're doing two pieces. I'm going to answer two different questions. I have had that happen. I have gotten, lawsuits. I've had lawsuits against neighboring apartment complexes. Secondary piece, a property that is in our neighborhood. Okay, if it is, first of all, we have in here in this new document, single family. Okay. Now, single family, again, we could go to the gentleman that was up here a minute ago, and we could say that means related to the owner of the property by title within 1 to 2 degrees of consanguinity, and blah, blah. Now, you could spell this out into infinite detail. Okay, but ultimately, single family has been talked about enough in the Texas case law so that we're not really concerned about that. We also have you can't rent out the rooms individually, and we have you can't run a business. Now, all of those put together, you would think we could potentially just say, you know what, you can't have any type of group home in our neighborhood. But there's a small problem with that. Well, you have HUD, the Department of Housing and Urban Development, that says, golly, there are some protected types of housing that you cannot, a home for, if it is a home that is being used and lived in by people that are mentally challenged or that are physically incapable or protected classes. There is with the group homes some things we can do. If they have outward appearance that they're running a business, i.e. they have 5 or 6 employees that are parking cars there, or an ambulance is coming 5 times, in a week. Things that are causing us neighborhood disturbances, we can do something about it. But to the extent that they have 4 people that are in palliative care, that are in beds, and there's a nurse that comes and takes care of them during the day, and from the outside, it looks like a regular house, and they're doing regular household functions, but they're more for a palliative care type facility, we can't do anything about that.